Okay. I am all set. Yeah, just go sit where you would normally sit. Are you playing in the beginning of the service? Oh, and do you want this up here too? Okay, I'm just going to put it over here.
I'm playing guitar.
What's your first name?
Bar.
Oh, we got time though. Yeah, we got time. All right, we're ready. Are we Facebook Living or no?
How do you feel about that for Maharana? With people in, or can they not?
I have no problem with it because of the way that we're. Okay. Have you not been doing it?
No, we have been. We just haven't had anybody in.
Oh, right. Gotcha. Just let them know that that'll be set up and try not to trip over it. I have a little lapel one, so I can move around anywhere.
We know how much you like to do that.
Absolutely. Do not be mean to sit still. I'll be like, what's wrong with you? Here's some water for you that you can keep over there.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to the bat mitzvah.
The bat mitzvah water from Costco. the thing. And I'll move mine over here. Are we live? How about now? Microphone's on? Should be okay? Should be okay? Shabbat Shalom. It's just me and Melanie. The cantor and Rabbi Mason Barkin have left the building. Anyway, I am so happy, so excited. We can pretend it is May, but we're not going to, because it's August. And we are here to celebrate this bat mitzvah for this fabulous, fabulous, fabulous Melanie Garber, who will become bat mitzvah this morning. And she is already talised with the talit that she purchased when that other rabbi, Keller, took her to Israel. The other rabbi. And she was able to pick out her talis, even though you were, how old were you when you picked that out? 6. That's 8, 6, somewhere in there. And her sister, Maddie Garber, became a confirmand last night. So we are here with just the immediate members of their family. Melanie will be leading, of course, a big part of our service this morning, and she is raring to go. So everyone at home, please enjoy this Shabbat morning. It's so nice to be back, and what a beautiful way to come back from sabbatical and to share 2 back-to-back simchas with this wonderful family. Confirmation last night and the bat mitzvah this morning. Without further ado, let's all turn for Matovu in our prayer books, page 192. Also known as page 74.
Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Vani Berov chastecha avo veitecha eshtecha ve'el hechal kodshecha meiratecha. It's so nice to say. All of you, please join me. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael.
Continue now with Nisim B'chol Yom, the blessings for the morning, page 198 or page 80 in your prayer books.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lasak vivina lechahin bein yom uvein laila, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim, who opens the eyes of the blind.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim, who frees the captive.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Zokef Kefufim, who lifts up the fallen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Rokach haaretz al chamayim, who stretches the earth over the waters.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Hamahin mitzadei Garber, who strengthens our steps.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Malbish arumim, who clothes the naked.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Hanoten le'ayef koach, who gives strength to the weary.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Hamavir shana me'enai, Unuma me'alpha pi, remove sleep from the eyes, slumber from the eyelids.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Shesani b'tzelem Elohim, who made me in the image of God.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Shesani bat horin, who has made me free.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Shesani Israel, who has made me a Jew.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Ozer Yisrael bigvura, who girds Israel with strength.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Oter Yisrael b'tifara, who crowns Israel with splendor.
Amen.
Now let's join together in the beautiful Psalm 150. Hallelujah. Sing it from home. Sing it if you're here. And we are on page 218 or page 100 in your Siddurim.
Two very simple words. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Let's all clap together. Hallelujah, 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 instilling Shabbat, hallelujah, instilling
So excited because Melanie is becoming quite the song leader, as it turns out. So she's going to be playing throughout the service this morning on guitar and singing. And I know the cantor's been working with her, although she needs no help.
Oh, very little.
Very little. Okay, good. So we're going to continue now with Kehilah Kedoshah, page 224 or 106. and then we'll be going right into the Baruch Hu on the next page.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמהר הפעם.
Amen.
ועלמא יברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי. וחי יכון וביומכון וחי לכל בית ישראל. בגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו. אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך. לעלם מולד מי עלמיה. יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם וינשא ויתהדר ויתהלם ויתהלל שמי דקודש בריחו לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן.
And please stand.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Adonai, Adonai.
Under 28, 110, we give thanks to God for this beautiful morning.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yotzer or u'borei choshech oseh shalom u'borei et hakol.
Hameir la'aretz v'la'arim aleha barachamim uv'tivo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reshit ma'arabu ma'asecha Adonai kulam b'chochma asita mal'ah ha'aretz kinyanecha titbarach Adonai Eloheinu shevach ma'aseh yadecha v'al ma'oreh or sha'asita yifa'arucha selah.
אור חדש על ציון תאיר ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאורו. ברוך אתה אדוני יוצר המאורות.
And let's continue now responsively on page 230. We will all join together when we get to the bottom of page 230 where it's indented, and Melanie will lead us in the first part of the prayer.
How deeply you have loved us, Adonai our God, gracing us with surpassing compassion, on account of our forebears whose trust led you to teach them the laws of life. Be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us, by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah. Enlighten our eyes with your Torah, focus our minds on your mitzvot, unite our hearts in love and reverence for your name. Then we'll never feel shame, never deserve rebuke, and never stumble. Having trusted in your great and awesome holiness, we shall celebrate your salvation with joy.
Together,
Gather us
in peace from the four corners of the earth, and lead us upright to our land. For you, O God, work wonders. You chose us, truly you drew us near to your great name. that we might acknowledge you, declaring you one in love.
Praise be you, Adonai, who chooses your people Israel in love.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Shalom.
Abocher ve'amo Yisrael, be'ahava.
Amen.
Shema
Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Baruch Shem
Kevod Malchuto
le'olam.
Vaed. Please be seated.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha v'chayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom alavavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibartam bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uveleftecha v'derech ushokbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leod al yadecha v'chayu latotefo b'neinecha uvtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yetem kedoshim leloechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem
Adonai Elohechem, Amen.
We now continue in the middle of page 239 again responsibly.
The eternal truth is that you alone are God and there is none else.
May the righteous of all nations rejoice in your love and exult in your justice.
Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks.
Let nation not lift up sword against nation, nor learn war any more.
You shall not hate your brother or your sister in your heart.
The stranger that sojourns with you shall be accepted as your equal, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt.
Why do you crush my people and oppress the poor? Asked God.
We know that the Eternal One defends the poor and upholds the rights of the needy.
Praise to God Most High.
Blessed is God and deserving of blessing. And we continue with a special setting of Micha Mocha that is a personal favorite of Melanie and the entire Garber family. And we want you all to go ahead and clap and sing along with us. And if you know the hand movements, please join along.
Standing at the sea.
Micha Mocha,
Standing at the sea.
Micha Mocha,
Standing at the sea.
Micha Mocha, freedom's on our way.
Coming up behind.
Micha Mocha,
Coming up behind.
Micha Mocha,
Coming up behind.
Micha Mocha.
Freedom is on our way.
Repeat after us.
Freedom,
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 freedom.
freedom, freedom's on our way.
The sea sheep parts.
Micha Mocha, the sea sheep parts. Micha Mocha, the sea sheep parts. Micha Mocha, freedom's on our way.
Walking through the water.
Micha Mocha, walking through the water. Micha Mocha, walking through the water. Micha Mocha, freedom's on our way. Let's sing it out.
Freedom,
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 freedom.
freedom, freedom's on our way.
We're singing and dancing.
Micha Mocha, we're singing and dancing. Micha Mocha, we're singing and dancing. Micha Mocha, freedom's on our way.
Freedom,
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 tuma be'ezrat Yisrael, ufeneichenu mecha Yehuda be'Yisrael. O aleinu Adonai tzvaot shemo, Kedosh Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, God Yisrael.
Amen. We're now at the center point of our morning service, the Amidah. And so everyone at home and here can please stand, turn to page 242 or 124. Adonai, Sifatai, Tiftach.
Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach, Uviyagi Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Velohei Avotenu Vimotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Velohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Velohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor V'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Hastei Avot V'Imahot, Umevigula Livnei V'Neihem, Leman Shemo Be'Yahava,
Melech Ozer u'Mashiach u'Magen
Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah.
Amen.
Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh Hakol atah Rav Le'Oshia, Morid Hatah, Mechakel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayeh Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofeh Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umechayeh Emunatom, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Bal Giverot, Umidom Elah, Melech Meni Tu Mechaye, Umat Miaf Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lechayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol.
Kedusha 248, 130.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, כך כתוב על יד נביאך, וכך אזל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו, מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו, והוא ישמיענו ברחמיו לעיני כל החי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Seated. Let's continue together with a special blessing for this day of Shabbat. 253, 135. Please say with me these words. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace, born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. And now we pray for peace. Sim Shalom 258 or 150.
Sim Shalom Amo Yisrael v'shalom.
Amen. And now we just take a moment to relax wherever we are seated, whether it's here or at home, reflecting on the week that has passed. During our silent meditation, we send extra prayers of strength and hope to our neighbors in California who are suffering under the blazes of fires throughout the state, on those who are in food lines, on those who are impoverished, on those in our own community who have lost their homeless tents and tarps from the monsoon. And we take this time of Shabbat peace to pray for peace not only for ourselves and our families, but for all of them, and indeed all the world.
Join together, page 260. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. Yehiyu leratzonim refi. Levatzonim refim refim vehegyon libi lefanecha Yehiyu levatzonim refim refim vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri begoali. Yehiyu leratzonim refim refim, vegon libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri
Well, it wouldn't be a bat mitzvah or a Shabbat without the Torah, and we get to do something very exciting today, which is to take two Sifrei Torah from the Ark, from the Aron HaKodesh, one in honor of all of the preparation Melanie did for her bat mitzvah, which was back in May, so we'll be reading part from that parsha. It's sort of like we're doing a Rosh Chodesh Elul double Torah reading. And then we'll be reading, of course, from today's Torah portion. So you're going to get a couple different page numbers at home if you're following along. Don't get confused. We just want to do honor to all the work that you put in for your original date, but also honor this Shabbat with our Parsha for today. So the Seder Kriyat Torah, the service for the reading of Torah, can be found on page 362 or 244.
Ein kamocha va'elohim Adonai, ve'ein kemaasecha, malechutecha malchut kol olamim, umemshaltecha bechol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz le'amo yitein, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom.
Together, let's stand.
Avarachamim eitiv avirtzonecha et Sion tivnei chomot Yerushalayim Yerushalayim. Ki v'cha levad batachnu, Melech el Ram v'nisa, Adon olamim. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Udevar Adonai mirushalayim. Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah. Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah. Le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Gadol Shemo, Galul Adonai iti, Uneromema Shemo Yachtai.
I invite you both at home and in the community. These days we blow kisses to the Torah.
Lecha Adonai hagedula v'hagevura v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'hahod. Ki chol b'shamayim u'va'aretz, Ki chol b'shamayim u'va'aretz. Adonai hamamlacha v'haminaseh lechol lerosh. Let's clap together and rejoice. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu le'ishachavu le'har kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu le'ishachavu le'har kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu le'har kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu le'har kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishachavu le'har kodsho.
Please be seated. All right, so first we're going to make the following comment. As you know, during the pandemic, we are not doing our generational passing of Torah from grandparents to parents to child, but today we are fortunate, but also sad, but also fortunate to be using to cover our Sefer Torah. Your grandpa Alan of blessed memory's Talit is a symbol of love and respect for him. A great honor to cover the Torah with a talis of someone that we love. And the first Torah that we're going to read today, the first Sefer Torah, will be of, if you will go back to May, you'll remember that we were reading apropos, I think, all times. I mean, a perfect Torah portion for our bat mitzvah and her family, because they're very holy people. Kiddushim, the holiness code, was what we were reading. So if you're following along in your home edition of the Torah in our Plaut commentary, you will find Kiddushim begins on page 798. 798. And it is a wonderful parsha. We also read this parsha on Yom Kippur in the afternoon service. So it's a very special portion. So we'll be reading a little bit of Kedoshim. We'll be reading also apropos Kedoshim. I've been saying apropos a lot, so let's get a new word. Very much connected to Kedoshim, the holiness code, is today's parsha, which we'll be talking about in a moment, Shoftim, which is about adjudicating laws, but also about justice. And justice is a pathway, of course, to holiness. If you want to have a holy society, a holy community, it's got to have strict rules of justice at its core. So I think it all worked out. The stars are aligned. And without further ado, we'll have Cantor come up and help you find your place. And I'll tell you, Rabbi Mason Barkin, the Torah has never been so clean. We have sanitized the Atzei Chaim. We're I mean, everything is just so clean. We're going to have to do this later after the pandemic. So again, if you're home, you can follow along on 798. We call now for the honor of our first Aliyah this morning, Paul and Nancy Gittleson and Susan Garber.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher B'charbanu Mikol Ha'amim V'natamanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayedaber Adonai El Moshe Lemor. Daber El Kol Adat Bnei Yisrael Ve'omarta Alehem Kedoshim Tihiu Ki Kadosh Ani Adonai Elohechem Ish Imo V'aviv Tira'u ve'et Shabbatotai Tishmaru Ani Adonai Elohechem Al Tifnu El Ha'elilim Ve'lochei Masecha Lo Tasu Lachem Ani Adonai Elohechem Ve'hi Tizbahu Zevach Shlamim Ladonai L'rtzonhem tizbachu beyom zivachem yachel u'mimochorat ve'anotar ad yom hashelishi ba'esh yisarech ve'im he'acho yachel b'yom hashelishi pigulhu lo ratzeh ve'chlav avono yisa Ki at Kodesh Adonai Hillel V'nigratam HaNefesh Hahi Me'amecha.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher natamanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Melanie, one of my favorite lines in Torah you just read, which was, Ish imo v'aviv tira'u. Your mother and your father you shall fear. They should give you a little bit of angst. Now, in the Ten Commandments, commandment number 5, everyone remember the difference, what the 5th commandment says? It doesn't say fear. What's honor? Honor, kavod, kabed means honor or respect. And who comes first, mom or dad? Honor your father. Father comes first, and then mother. In the portion you just read in the Aliyah, it says, Ish imo va'aviv. Imo va'aviv, mother and your father you shall fear. So the rabbis say, what's that about? honor your father, have some respect, if you're lucky, right? I hope my kids respect me. They don't tell me, but I think maybe deep down inside they do, but fear your mother.
Okay, so these two.
And you're laughing because you know it's true. We're fearful maybe a tiny bit more of our moms than our dads, because our dads are, let's be honest, we're pushovers, especially with our daughters sometimes. I'm just saying. But it's a great line. There's one other translation because it says, Ve'et shabtotai tishmeru, and my Sabbaths you shall observe. So a different interpretation is, always fear your parents and respect your parents unless they tell you to break Shabbat, to not observe mitzvot, to eat treif. Then you're allowed to show disrespect or dishonor them by saying, no, I'm keeping kosher, or I'm keeping Shabbat. Mom, Dad, I'm not going for a drive with you. Then you're allowed to, according to one other place. But I like the first idea much better. And God forbid the rabbi should have one interpretation of a verse of Torah, right? So we're going to now continue with the second aliyah, which is honored to call Andy Gittleson, Jason Garber, Cheryl Garber, and Benjamin Garber.
And even though Cheryl and Benjamin cannot be here with us today, they are definitely an honorary aliyah.
They're at home, though, yes?
They're at home.
Yeah,
Definitely.
so they should say the aliyah at
You're
home.
here through.
Please, if
Okay.
you're on Facebook Live or on YouTube, join on in.
Yamod Avraham Moshe ben Nechama v'Pesach. Yamod Yosef Ariel ben Avraham v'Sara. Tamod Chaviva bat Avraham v'Sara. Yamod Binyamin Moshe ben Chaviva v'Avraham. Yamdu Sheni. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher baruch banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Amen. Uvkutrahem et ketzir artzehem lo techaleh pe'at son ha-litzor velaket kirtzir ha lo telaket vecharmecha lo teolil ufervet karmecha lo telaket leani velager tazov otam ani Adonai Elohechem lo tignovu velo tehahashu velo teshakaru ishbamito.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
I lost my place.
Now, for the honor of the third aliyah, we call your dear parents and sister,
Oh, yes.
Stuart, Jennifer, and Madeline Garber, otherwise known as Maddie. But sometimes Madeline.
Yamod Yisrael Yitzchak ben Avraham v'Sara. Tamod Shanda Rachel ben Pesach v'Nechama. Tamod Meira Fega ben Yisrael Yitzchak v'Shanda Rachel. Yamdu Shelishir. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Amen. Velo tishavu v'yishmi la shaker v'hilata et shem Elohecha ani Adonai lo ta'ashok et reacha velo tigzol lo talin peolat zachir itecha ad boker lo tekalel heresh ולפני עיוור לא תיתן מכשול. ויראת אלוהיך אני אדוני.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah temet, v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
We're going to take one moment to lift this Torah, and then we'll be changing Torah so that we can read from today's Torah portion. Please stand as the Torah is lifted to be redressed.
Vezot haTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe.
And as we remove the Torah, or redress the Torah, and replace with today's Parsha, we take a moment to ask for God's blessings upon all of our loved ones, our friends, our family in need of our prayers for healing on this Shabbat. Please, at home, feel free to write into the comments the name of the loved one you would like us to pray for this morning. And if you are here, in just a moment, I will call on the congregation to say out loud names of loved ones you would like us to pray for as well. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'Yimotenu Zarach Korach Leah Hu Yivarech et HaCholim. May God, who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. If you'd like to say the name of someone out loud, please do so at this time. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachamim Aleihim. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send all of them a complete renewal of body and of spirit. And let us say, Amen. Everyone, please be seated. It is now our pleasure in just a moment. I'll give the cantor another moment. All right. Oh, I can find the page number. Even better. You know, when you go to Jewish summer camp, you learn something called the filler. That's how to take up some time in between, programs, what have you. So we are now at Parshat Shoftim. We'll also be reading the Haftarah for Shoftim today. And as we heard last night during confirmation, Shoftim is the Hebrew word, biblical word for judge, judgment, also for adjudicating. It's got all of our rules from Deuteronomy, as Moses is now in his second full discourse at Moab. At Mount Nebo, where he's going to eventually die and hand over leadership to Joshua. He's given the Israelites all of the good stuff, all of the behaviors, and when you get into the land, this is what you shall do, and so on and so forth. And the famous words that are on the Supreme Court building, tzedek, tzedek, tirdof, justice, justice, you shall pursue, come from the beginning of our Parsha. If you're following at home, oh, good. See, I totally did the filler. If you're following at home, we are on page 1294 for Parshat Shoftim. I'll give you the Haftarah page in just a moment. It is our pleasure. Oh, I'm sorry.
1297.
1297, forgive me.
Chapter 18, verse 3. So the
Oh,
third
so we are
paragraph
on, okay, 18:3. Okay, very good. So I'm glad I talked about justice, justice shall you pursue, because we actually are not reading that this morning, but it's in there. We are going on again, 1297, and now we call for the honor of her bat mitzvah, Aliyah, 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 Melanie Ann Garber.
Ta'amod, ta'amod, habachura bat mitzvah, mazal aliza, bat Yisrael Yitzchak v'shandel Rachel, chazak, chazak, v'nitchazek.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'na'atan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai notein ha'Torah.
Amen. And to read her bat mitzvah portion, Melanie is using a very, very special yad that was given to her, and her sister Maddie used it, and so we say, use it in good health.
V'zeh ihyeh mishpat ha'kohanim me'et ha'am me'et zovchei ha'zevach im shor inseh v'natan la'kohen ha'zeroach v'ha'lechayayim v'ha'keva Reshit dagen achor tiroshaha ve'yitzarecha ve'reshit gez torecha titelo. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'hayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai notein ha'Torah.
Amen.
Koach. Beautiful chanting of 2 Sifrei Torah this morning. And now we stand once again as we redress Torah number 2. And get ready to move on to Haftarah for this morning from Isaiah. Please stand at home if you are able.
Vezot HaTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, tziva lanu Moshe. Torah 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 tziva lanu Moshe.
Please have a seat. If you're following along in your Torah commentary at home, we're going to be on page 1316. This is from Isaiah, one of what we call the Haftarot of comfort or consolation, the Haftarahs that follow the holy day of Tisha B'Av, that also lead us numerically into the High Holy Days. This is the 4th of 7, which means Rabbi Mason Barkin has 3 weeks and 6 days to write a sermon. Just at least one. At least, you don't have to write both, but knowing you, you'll write both. Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway, the point is, Isaiah is telling the people, everything's going to be okay. It's a great message of comfort that if you're reading it at home, or you can read it throughout the Shabbat, will give you a sense that we're not the first people to suffer. We're not the first to experience dark times. The Israelites did in Babylonia, somewhere around the 6th century before the Common Era. So we'll hear these beautiful words from Isaiah, which hopefully will give us in our own community and in our own time a sense of comfort.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratza v'divrehem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'Nvi'ei ha'emet b'tzedek. Anohi, Anohi, hu lachemechem mi'at vatir'i menosh yamut umivenatam hatzir inaten vatishkach Adonai osecha note shamayim ve'yose aretz vatefahed tamid kol hayom mipenei hamat hametzik ka'asher konen lahashit ve'yached hamat hametzik mihartzo et lechapateya velo yamu lachashart velo yasa lachdo. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol ha'olamim tzadik b'chol hadorot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer ve'oseh ha'medaber u'mkayem she'kol dabara emet v'tzedek al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'nevi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'linucha lechavod utifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach umavarchim otach yitbarach shimchai befi kol hai tamid le'olam va'ed baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Can we hear a big, big, big Yashir Koach for a job well done, even though you're not quite done? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Yashir Koach! Beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and put this back for a second. Excellent. Beautiful. So in addition to learning to chant from the Torah and chant from the books of the prophets known as the Haftarah, Melanie has prepared a teaching for all of you based on what she has learned from Parshat Kedoshim, right? So we invite her now to deliver her Dvar Torah for all of us.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Close your eyes and try to picture this. Smiling faces, wind whistling through tall pine trees, laughter, voices singing the Birkat Hamazon and Hashkivenu, Israeli dancing, and the smell of grilled cheese and tomato soup. This is Camp Stein, and to me, this is my holy place. But what makes someone or something holy to you? Does it have to be connected to God? Is it a group of people that make it that way? Or is it just being present and enjoying a particular moment in time? The parsha that I read from today is Kedoshim from the book of Leviticus. Kedoshim is all about the holiness code. The beginning of this parsha starts with God's command to Moshe not to just speak to Bnei Israel, but to the entire congregation of Bnei Israel, and to command them to be holy just as God is. The code of holiness includes regulations for animal sacrifices, eating, cleanliness, priestly conduct, speech, and more. God established this code because Adonai chose us, and it is important that we must recognize that by following this code. In this parsha, it's very interesting how they show how true worship is expressed in a person's everyday life, and also in some compassionate relationships. I feel like becoming a bat mitzvah will make me feel a lot more connected to Judaism and the entire Jewish community. I think becoming a bat mitzvah is giving me a better understanding of what it means to be Jewish. And Kedoshim has taught me that even though following this code won't make the world or me perfect, it will make the world and us as individuals a lot happier, especially with all the hatred and negativity going on in the world today. Kedoshim has taught me that even As a Jewish community, we can continue to follow this code and abide by its rules, and no matter how young or old we are, we can still make a difference and set a good example. I learned that even though God has made this code to make us live our lives in a holy way, we can choose what being holy means to us. It can be a place, a special object, or a group of people. Even though I wasn't able to physically attend Camp Stein this summer in the traditional way, I was able to attend Camp 56 here at CBI with many of my camp friends and counselors. I was pleasantly surprised that I experienced the same camp vibes, and even though I was not in Prescott, I felt the holiness of camp in my heart. I learned that holiness is a feeling that you can carry with you no matter where you are. I want you to think about what your definition of holy and what it means and how you can use it in your daily life. I'd like to thank every person that has been so supportive throughout this entire experience. Thank you, Rabbi Kahn, for being my rabbi my entire life. You've been there since the beginning. Thank you, Rabbi Mason Barkin and Cantor Seth, for helping with my speech in Hebrew. You both have been so positive. Thank you, Stacy Rosenthal, for being an amazing Jewish educator, fantastic person, and wonderful friend. Shout out to Mildred Brown. Thank you, Mark Lerner, for being my mentor, but for being such a great family friend. I'd like to thank all of my grandparents for being so supportive and setting an amazing example and being the best grandparents anyone could ask for. Thank you to all my aunts and uncles. You are also supportive and really fun to visit. I'm glad that most of you could make it today by driving all the way from Vegas and Oregon. It means a lot to me. Thank you, Ben, Charlie, and Jacob, for being the best cousins anyone could ask for. You are also fun to visit, and I'm glad most of you could make it here today to see me become a bat mitzvah. Thank you, Maddie, for being the best sister anyone could ever ask for. I love that we have so many inside jokes. I love spending time with you, and I especially love getting kicked out of your room. You're always so supportive and kind, and I love being your sister. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for making this amazing day possible. I know it definitely isn't what we planned, but it doesn't mean it's any less special. I love you both so much, and you guys are the best parents anyone could ask for. Thank you again for making all of this happen and being so patient with me and my stress, and reminding me to always work hard. I love all of you guys that can make it today, but thank you to all my friends and family that took the time to watch at home on YouTube. You have all been so supportive, and thanks again for being here virtually and physically. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. I too want to give an extra thanks to Cantor and Rabbi Mason Barkin for helping get you prepared so that I could still be on sabbatical, but know that I was and looking forward to coming back to you becoming a bat mitzvah, because they were so awesome in getting you prepared for today. And thank your parents for all of their patience and kindness during a crazy 6 months, I know. I'm so glad that we are here today. So we're going to you're going to have another second to sit. We're going to take a moment to return both Sifrei Torah to our holy ark. You read a little bit in Mishpatim about the priests and their leadership and how they were going to be cared for. So Cantor and I have had a tradition of doing the priestly blessing since I come from the priestly lineage, or so I'm told. And Cantor has a nice voice. We like to bless the congregation. We've been doing it since the pandemic started, figuring nothing wrong with extra blessings for everyone. And then after that, after we return the Torah and bless the community both here and at home, then we'll invite Melanie to join us with her parents, along with Rabbi Mason Barkin, so that we can say some nice things to her, which we would do no matter what, but especially today. Everyone at home, please turn in your prayer books, please, to page 374 or 256, same for those of you who are here. And together, let's please stand as we return the Sifrei Torah.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. Ein Chaim Hirama Chazikim Pa Vetom Checha Meushar Derachecha Darchei Noam Vechol Netivotecha Shalom Hashivenu Adonai Elecha Venashuva Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem. Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May Adonai bless you and protect you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May Adonai's countenance be lifted upon you and be gracious unto you.
Yis Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom.
May Adonai's light and face shine upon all of us. Grant us abundant peace.
Ve'yasem lecha shalom. Ve'yasem lecha shalom. 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 Amen.
Maddie, would you come stand over here? And I'd like to invite your parents up now to join with us. So first we're going to have your parents share their words with you, but you guys can do it from the pulpit if you want. Maddie, you can go stand over there. We'll leave the ark open for a second. You want to do it up here? What did I say? Maddie, you stay over there. Melanie, you go over there with your parents. You are not. You are your own woman.
Okay. Even though I did make a big font, I have to put my glasses on. Okay. Sorry. Yashar Koach. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Rabbi Akiva called this the cardinal principle of Torah, and Hillel said, this is the entire Torah, and the rest is commentary. The laws in this parsha stress honesty and fairness for everyone. This not only seems to be an appropriate reminder for all of us during these extremely challenging times, but Melanie, this is something that is at the core of who you are as a person. You are thoughtful, sincere, insightful, honest, and truly one of the most kind-hearted people that we know. It seems strange to always say, everything always happens for a reason, because sometimes things just don't make sense. Maybe it's better to say, things happen the way they are supposed to happen. And here we are. We could not be more proud of your hard work, your dedication, and positive attitude in preparation for becoming a bat mitzvah. Your level of stick-to-itiveness has been absolutely incredible, and it spills over into all aspects of your life, whether that's school, music, sports, or volunteer work.
Melanie, you truly embody the qualities of your Hebrew name, Mazel Aliyah, which means blessing, good fortune, and joy. You are a blessing and have had a twinkle in your eyes since the day you were born. Melanie, you literally light up a room with your smile and positive energy. We can always count on your fantastic sense of humor and comedic timing to lighten the mood. Melly, you are also extremely intelligent, organized, and you have an intense work ethic. We often discuss and debate current events, and you always seem to make connections and have a thoughtful opinion. We are thrilled that you typically do what is right, even if that may not necessarily be the popular choice. You stand up for yourself when you need to and speak up for others if they are in need of support. We completely love the person that you are, as well as the young lady that you are becoming. We are excited that you are continuing your Jewish education and experiences by attending Mayan, volunteering as a madrachim, and of course spending your summers at your holy and happy place, Camp Stein.
It is our hope that you will learn something new every day. Always ask questions. Be an independent thinker. Know when to be a leader and know when to be part of a team. Be positive. Appreciate all of your opportunities. Try new things and learn from your mistakes. Remember to listen, be kind, and to forgive. Live your life Jewishly by practicing tikkun olam and doing mitzvot to the best of your ability. So we'll try to do this the right way. To quote one of your favorite songs,
may you have auspiciousness and causes of success.
may you have the confidence to always do your best.
May you take no effort in your being generous.
Sharing what you can, nothing more, nothing less.
May you know the meaning of the word happiness.
May you always lead from the beating in your chest.
May you be treated like an esteemed guest.
May you get to rest, and may you get to catch your breath. And may the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows, and may the road less paved be the road that you follow. We love you.
You did great. All right, my dear, come on over. Maddie, come on up as well, please. And you get to be more front and center because we get to talk to you for a second. You want to sing first or sing after?
Sing after.
Yeah, we'll sing after. We like singing. So, my dear, here we are standing on a bima. We're not able to really see each other's faces, but we can see each other's eyes. And the eyes are the windows to the soul. Was that trite? Yes, it was. So your dad mentioned your name, Mazel. And Mazel is the Hebrew word like Mazel Tov, good luck. But really what it means is like a consolation. Like the stars are aligned. Like how the stars appear in the sky. That's a Mazel. A zodiac sign would be a Mazel. And I was thinking how appropriate. Here we are in the new second day, only the second day of the new month of Elul. And when there's a new moon, we know there's a new moon because we can't see the moon, which is sort of odd if you think about it. But in Judaism, when there's a new moon, that is to say when the sky has no moon in it, we know it's a new month. And this is the month of Elul. Elul has 4 letters, Aleph, Lamed, Vav, Lamed. The rabbis teach us that those 4 letters are an acronym for 4 words that come from a book called the Song of Songs, Shir HaShirim. Ani ledodi v'dodi li, Aleph, Lamed, Vav, Lamed, which means I am my beloved's, and my beloved's is mine. In a moment, we're going to bless you, and you're going to put on a tallis. We're going to wrap you, your parents are going to wrap you with your Grandpa Paul's tallis, and your Grandpa Alan, a blessed memories tallis, because these were the talisim that they were blessed under the chuppah when they said the words Ani ledodi v'dodi li to each other. So that's one mazel. That's one sign. Second sign. When there's a new moon, the stars, the planets, everything in the night sky, unless you live in a place like Phoenix, is very, very, very clear. Like if you're going to go looking for consolations, you want to do it when there's a new moon. So while the sky is a little bit darker without the moon, the stars bright. The stars are shinier. And the stars remind us of where we're going and where we've been. So that's our second mazel today, which is you are so, so bright, so shiny. Your spirit, watching you sing and play guitar and chant from Torah and reading your speech and seeing you at camp, you are a bright, shining star. And moon or no moon, we can see you coming from a long way away, but your presence is so, I can't even find the word for it. It's just, So that's the second mazel. The third mazel, the third sign that today is meant to be, as your mom said, or it is what it is, you said it more eloquently, is this connection between holiness and justice as a way of leading our lives. You have learned that from your sister and your mom and your dad and your grandparents, but now it's up to you, my dear. Being your best mazel, being your best North Star, your best brightness, your best self is all about pursuing justice, both in home and for yourself, having a voice, being strong, but also out in the community and having that sense of justice. But it's also about knowing really what holiness means. You are holy whether you like it or not. It's part of the deal when you're Jewish to be holy. How you do that, when you do that, where you do that, totally up to you. But it is up to you. That's the operative phrase. It's not to say your parents are going to nudge you and your sister's not going to nudge you, but we have every confidence in the world that you get that, what it means to pursue Kiddushim, holiness. So don't forget, on your day of your bat mitzvah, your name, the signs that are out there that the universe is telling us today, that this was indeed the day that God created for you to become a bat mitzvah. The planets are aligned, and you have the awesome responsibility now. Be yourself, have fun, but also pursue justice and holiness. It is such a pleasure to have known you this whole journey. I can't wait to see what's coming next. I know Rabbi Mason Barkin had a couple things she wanted to say, and then we're going to ask for God's blessings on you, and then your parents will wrap you in the aforementioned taluses.
I want to ask your parents to move this way so that Melanie's standing in front of you.
Here, guys.
Yep, parents together. Maddie, get in there too. Little family huddle. Melanie looks lonely standing there. And here's what I want to say to you, Melanie.
She also may have been getting a little tired of me chatting for so long too. So let's.
I don't know if you can hear me. I don't have a mic, but it doesn't matter because I'm talking to Melanie. Melanie, what I want to say to you is about your voice. You have a beautiful voice, and we heard it today, this morning, whatever day it is. Who knows anymore? We heard it while you were singing. We heard it while you were speaking, and we hear it even now when you're not saying a word at all. And I want to make sure that as you go forward in this world, in this beautiful pursuit of justice and holiness, like Rabbi Tom said, that you remember that your voice is strong, and your voice is clear, and your voice is compassionate, and your voice is beautiful. And never be afraid to let it out, because you have a lot to share with all of us. The way you turned a lesson about, the way you turned a sad moment from having to miss camp this summer and all of the other sad stuff that's happened this year into a beautiful lesson about how we can create holiness was important for all of us to hear. So keep using that voice, because you've got a lot to say. And with that, we offer you these words and blessings.
Yevarech Adonai ve'yishmerech.
May God bless you and may God keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elaich v'chunaich.
May God's countenance always be lifted upon you and be gracious unto you.
Is Adonai panav elaich ve'asem lach shalom, shalom.
May you always feel God's presence deeply within you, and may you all always be blessed with the greatest gift of all, the blessing of peace.
Amen.
Ve'asem lach shalom, shalom. Siman tov und mazel tov und mazel tov siman tov und mazel tov siman tov und mazel tov siman tov Kehilah Siman tov und mazel tov siman tov וסיימה טוב, עוד מזל טוב, מזל טוב, וסיימה טוב, סיימה טוב, עוד מזל טוב, מזל טוב, וסיימה טוב, יהיה לנו.
Please be seated. Mazel tov. I just so wish everyone at home and in the congregation could have seen the Garber family's faces during the blessing. You guys are an awesome family. For those of you who don't know or who are at home, Jen was a member of our board for many, many years and a real charter founding member of our youth movement back in 2012 when we finally said, hey, we got to do something with all this youth group stuff. And being the Gucci kid and the Mofty kid and all that she is. Mofty? I thought you were in Ofty, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Ohio Valley. Whew. She took over with Mark Lerner, the mentor, and that is why we have a gazillion kids in Biddy today. It's all because of Jennifer. And Stu has been very important to me because I've had a few, very, very complicated teeth issues that he's taken care of. No, Stu, thank you, and mazel tov to both of you. And Maddie, on your confirmation again last night. We're going to conclude now with, in a moment, with Aleinu and with Mourner's Kaddish. So everybody at home can please turn in their Sidurim for Aleinu, which can be found. Anyone's willing, ready, and able to shout it out?
586.
586. Together, let's please stand.
עלינו לשבח
לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצאת בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וכוחנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. On this Shabbat, we share our deepest sympathies as we note the passing of the following people who were recently laid to their eternal rest, whose families observe Shabbat and Shloshim. Elwanda O'Keefe Hahn, grandmother of Allison Kierman, Malki Cohen, Eli Elgazar, brother of Claire Marzuk. On the Shabbat, remember those of our congregational family whose yahrzeits occur this week. Their names are lovingly listed in our Shabbat flyer. If there's anyone at home who would like to type in a name, or anyone who would like to say a name out loud here in our congregation, whether it's a yahrzeit or a recent loss, please do so at this time. Of course, we add the name of Alan Garber for our family. May his memory be for a blessing as well. Page 598 or 294 in your prayer books for Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah Be'amad Yivrach Yirutei v'yamlich Machutei B'chayei v'yomei v'chayei D'chol Beit Yisrael Ba'gala v'zman kari v'imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam Le'omei Amaya Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnasei v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei D'kudsha B'richu Le'elah min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shaloma rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. V'oseh shalom b'mramav, u'yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and comfort to those who are grieving. Amen. And our concluding song, thankfully, will be sung by our bat mitzvah. Oseh Shalom, correct?
Yes, let us
Let's
join
do it.
together in a prayer for peace.
Oseh Shalom, Bimromav,
Booyah, Aseh Shalom,
Aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael, Ve'imeru, Amen. Oseh Shalom, Bimromav, Booyah, Oseh Shalom, Aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael, Ve'imeru, Amen. Oseh Shalom. I'm gonna go be shofar ready.
Booyah, Aseh Shalom, Aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael, Ve'imeru, Amen.
Ve'imeru,
Amen. Yasher Koach, Yasher Koach. And now, because we are in the month of Elul, the second 8 calls of the shofar. Tekiah, Shvarim Truah, Truah, Tekiah. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Let's go ahead and join together. We'll invite up Maddie and Jennifer and Stuart to come up and join with Maddie to lead us in a short Kiddush and Motzi. Thank you, Rabbi Mason Barkin. All right.
I'm still Melanie.
Oh, I invited Maddie. Maddie twice. Oy. Okay, let's go ahead and dig under there and pick up the Kiddush cup. Melanie. Oh, good too. All right, let's join together in Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen l'chaim.
Just hold it.
And we'll join together in words of Motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Mazel, 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 mazel. Job, well done.